Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi my dear student, how are you? It's nice to see you again in our subject Lesson Plan and Material Development with me, Mutiara Ayu. Okay my dear students, after discussing about our introduction to English language teaching last session, today we have another interesting topic to be discussed. It is about material development using the dig and carry system approach. Well, material development, what is that? It is a system of procedure used for developing instruction and training curricula in a consistent and reliable method. When we do system of procedure varies, the structure of the design should be both engaging and also effective for the learners. So you cannot only think about yourself or you have only accomplished your task as a teacher, but you have to consider about the learners. It must be engaging and also effective, right? In this meeting, we will discuss the best practice of material development by using the dig and carry system approach. Okay, what is the dig and carry system? The system approach by dig and carry helps instructional designer develop curricula, okay, through a series of 6 steps. We have 6 steps to design such a material in this case. Okay, these steps which work together towards a defined instructional goal. The dig and carry system approach considers components such as instructor, learners, materials, instructional activities, delivery system, and the last one is the learning and performance environment. Now let's talk about the first stage. It is identifying instructional goal. This is the first step that you have to do when you want to develop materials, okay? A critical part of the instructional design process is the identification. It will help you when you develop instructional goals because it is the best to consult with a subject matter expert. A subject matter expert and creator should use a need assessment to determine the needs of the learners. The desired status is intended competency level of the learners at the conclusion of the course. Okay? The actual status is where the learners are presently and where they are able at the end of the instruction. Once a need has been established, goals can be created. A completed goal statement should include the learners, what the learners will be able to do at the end of the materials, and then the performance context in which the skill will be applied, and the last one is the tools that will be available to the learners in the performance context. Okay, so in conclusion, in the beginning when you want to develop the materials when you are going to teach, you have to do identifying the instructional goals. What is the goals? What is the objectives when you want to learn, right? So you can know how to create that at the end. For example, when you are responsible to learn about reading skill, okay, so you have to consider what is the objective, what is the goal that you want to deliver, whether it is about narrative text or it can be descriptive or even it is only a procedure text. So after you have already you have done the identifying, so you can do the next stage. Okay, it is about conducting instructional analysis. Once instructional goals are established, an instructional analysis can be developed. An instructional analysis is a set of a procedure that help identify the skills and knowledge that should be included in instruction. Okay, it is very important to identify which domain each instructional goal is linked to. According to Bloom, he defines 6 learning domains of learning outcomes. It is knowledge, comprehension, application, analysis, synthesis, and the last one, it is the highest learning domains of outcome, it is evaluation. Okay, so after having the identification about the goals, you can conduct the instructional analysis. As I told you before, it includes the instruction which can be integrated in knowledge, comprehension, application, analysis, synthesis, or evaluation. Right. After done those 2 stages, we will do the next stage, that is analyzing learners and context. When determining the learners and the context in which the learning will take place, it is important to refer to the target population. The target population is the group of the learners that you are trying to reach in instruction. Okay? When considering the target population, it is important for you to go beyond the context of the learners. The designer or the teacher should consider the target population, such as skills prior to the instruction, and then prior knowledge of the topic area. Next is attitude toward the content and potential delivery, academic motivation, education and ability level, learning preferences, and the last one is the group characteristic. Well, it is also one of the important part or important stage that you have to consider when you want to develop the materials, because as we have discussed in the previous meeting, when we put ourselves in learner's perspective, we can know, we can analyze what they need in the classroom. We cannot like only think about our duties as a teacher, but we have to be more attention in their ability, in their prior knowledge, also their learning preferences. For example, if you want to teach reading again, in this case, right? So before you go to the materials and you give the text, you have to consider what is the level of your student, whether they are in the lower or even very high level of reading skill. So in the beginning, you have to do analysis, right? For example, you give them the text, right, combined with various level of reading skill. So you after that can analyze, or you can, for example, make the conclusion in what level of your students in reading. So during the activities, you can use the graded reading level. So it will help them to comprehend the text and also to conclude the information from the text. The next one, it is writing performance objectives. A performance objectives is a description of what the learners will be able to do by the end of the unit of instruction. A performance objective should be written into 3 parts. The first one is condition, behavior, and the last one is criteria. Right. Let's discuss the first one, is condition. What does it mean? Condition means a description of the skills identified with the tools and resources needed to achieve the skill. Okay? And behavior is a description of the skill including action, content, or concept. Meanwhile, criteria is a description of acceptable performance of the skill. The example: given a welding torch, what do you think? Is it condition, behavior, or criteria based on the definition of each terminology? Well, that's great. That's right. It is condition because it's only the description of the skill with the tools and resource needed, right? And then turn on the welding torch. Turn on the welding torch. Think it out. What is that? It is behavior because it describes the skills including action and content or concept. Turn on, it is the action. And determine the welding setting, ground the welder, and adjust the wire voltage properly without assistance from the instructor. What do you think? It's very easy to be answered. It is criteria because it describes acceptable performance of the skill in detail. So far, what do you think? We have already discussed 4 stages. The first one, what is that? Do you still remember that? Yes, identifying instructional goals, and then conducting instructional analysis. And the third stage is analyzing learners and context. And we just discussed writing performance objectives. So, the next stage, it is developing assessment instrument. It is about assessment. Once performance objectives have been determined and written, it is important to consider the question, what type of assessment should be used to assess the learner's performance? So to make a connection to our previous example about reading skill, right? So what do you think? What kind of assessment can be used to assess the student's performance in reading skill or reading class? Yes, it can be done in multiple choice question, or it can be true or false, or even it's only just like an essay question, like you are providing a passage or text, and then after that there are some questions and the students have to answer some question related to the text itself. So you have to think it over. What kind of assessment, how you measure the student's performance from the instructional that you have already designed. It is important to consider the environment in which the assessment will take place, because the response time needed by the learners and probability of guessing the correct answer. So if you only teach in 60 minutes, so you have to be careful to measure the time, or to think about the time needed by the learners to do the assessment. It is very impossible if you only have 60 minutes in one meeting and you give them 100 questions, right? So that's why this stage, it's very important for you to know about the assessment instrument. And also, if for example you make a multiple choice question, you have to think about the probability of guessing the correct answer, whether they will be confused or they will answer it easily and quickly. So think it over, right? Now, the last but not the least, it is developing an instructional strategy. An instructional strategy is variety of teaching and learning strategies which may include group discussion or only independent reading lecture, right? It also can be worksheet, computer simulation, or even only lectures by the lecturer itself, and much more. So this is generally known as instruction. When considering the instructional strategy for a unit of instruction, there are few things to be considered, such as the goal, the learner's motivation and characteristic, the learning objective, assessment requirement, And the last one is the performance context. Okay, my dear students, by taking this time to plan a unit of instruction using the Dick and Carey system approach model, teacher will be more effective on individualized learning. The 6 components of the Dick and Carey model are meant to provide a cohesive and effective tool in developing an organized unit of instruction. The use of this component in instructional design can help the learners and also the teacher acquire a systematic structure of learning and also promote academic success. Alright, this is the end of our session today. Thank you very much for your nice attention, and then see you in the next session. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.